I'm here with I'm here with Dylan Vincent. Dylan lives in Canada, and he has a very interesting story to tell. So I'd like to have him tell that story for everyone. And related to that, I just want to tell you guys that there are treatments for a lot of different diseases and not diseases, but there are treatments available for a lot of different conditions that affect the human body. And so Dylan has some things to share that I was not necessarily aware of, but I would encourage everyone that thinks that I'm out there like on a loony bin or something, I would encourage all of you guys to go to Netflix, watch a show called How to Change Your Mind. But hallucinogenics are being used primarily in Mexico to treat alcoholism, heroinism. It's treating sexual disorders. It's treating a whole host of trauma disorders. And so they're using psychedelics to reprogram the mind essentially and to help repair the nerves in the mind. There's also a lot going on in the United States with SSRIs and how SSRIs essentially really put like a haze in your brain, and they can make you impotent and all kinds of things. So the hallucinogenics are also being used to fix those issues. And so Dylan has went through some of this personally, so I want to talk to Dylan about it and let him tell his story. So tell us, basically, what happened that got you into a place that you needed some kind of treatment for, so go ahead and start.
Yeah, absolutely. At first, I want to thank you for this opportunity. I'm really happy to be here and share my story. So essentially, about 7 years ago, I had a breakup. I totaled my car, and then my mom went into life-threatening surgery within about a month and a half. All this happened. I developed a condition. It's the Greek word for it's called Endodonia, the inability to experience pleasure. So it's being in a state where nothing was enjoyable. I had no appetite, no emotion. I couldn't get excited. Very dark place, contemplating suicide pretty much every day. So I was barely functioning with this condition for about 6 months. I was talking to a therapist, considering ECT, like electric shock therapy.
Oh, really?
And then I got talked into taking an SSRI.
Yeah.
I took one, it's Cipralex in Canada and Lexapro in the States. I only took one dose, and then at that point, I couldn't sleep anymore. I had insomnia, and then I developed a new condition called PSSD, which stands for Permanent SSRI Sexual Dysfunction. So it didn't only not help my anhedonia, but it made my anhedonia worse, and then it also gave me a new problem. So when I was looking at people that had anhedonia, there reports of people having it for 5, 10, 15 years, no recovery, and the same thing with PSSD. So future didn't look very bright, and then I came across all these people that were in these forums of trying things to get better. And then one person posted, one of my really close friends, his name is Christian. He had schizophrenia, and he got better using Ibogaine and only Ozone. And this clinic also does stem cells. And I don't know this guy. He could kill me. He could rob me. So I've had an uncle that's been living in Mexico for the last 15 years, and I asked him if he can meet me down in Puerto Vallarta to go do this, because it was like $10,000. I had to take out a loan. And then he tells me that, I sent him to the website where I'm getting treated. And then Christian, his testimony was on that website. And my uncle tells me that he used to live beside this guy for 2 months in Acapulco.
Beside Christian?
Beside Christian, yeah.
Wow.
So 7 billion people in the world, the guy that can help me, he lived beside him, which is pretty cool. I did the medicine. It was like 10 years of psychotherapy within 4 to 6 hours. Very quick results. It was the day after I did it. My appetite came back. My emotions came back. I was able to get excited again. My sexual function came back.
Within one time of
Within one, after the day after, it was pretty incredible stuff.
See, that alone is insane. But
yeah, it is. And then I noticed that my alcohol addiction was eradicated. for me, like drinking one beer, I could never stop at one. It'd always be 5 or 10, and that's been an ongoing thing with me. And just it'd be 6 years in July where I haven't had a drop ever since.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So this, a lot of people, I don't think, I wasn't aware. I knew SSRIs were very bad for people. They essentially make them kind of like, you know, you take away the peaks and the valleys, and you just kind of have a monotonous type, you know, life after that, where nothing really makes you angry or upset, and nothing gets you too excited. So I've known that, and I've also known that there were sexual side effects from the SSRIs. I guess I didn't know that they were permanent. So so PSSD, permanent sexual, what is it?
SSRI dysfunction.
SSRI dysfunction. I didn't even know. I thought when they came off the SSRI that their sexual function would come back, and that's not the case.
Exactly. It's very unlikely for it to happen after one dose. Most people have it when they've been on it for 2 to 5 years, and then come off of it is when it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, that's scary.
Very.
And it'll ruin somebody's life. So it's good to know there's a cure. And so tell me about what you're going to be doing here in Mexico to help other people.
Yeah, so during my 6-year journey, I've discovered that the stem cells were a big part of my recovery. Mm-hmm. We've treated some people that have had similar symptoms with just Ibogaine and Ozone, and they haven't recovered. So it took me a while to figure that out. So we'll be focusing using stem cells, Ozone, Ibogaine, and other psychedelics like ayahuasca. So
you do the stem cells. You do one treatment of Ozone, like one time?
So it'd be like 3, and then you would do the dose, add the third.
Okay, so you do 3 Ozone treatments over a 3-day period, or?
You can split it up 3 days, or you can split it up to like Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay. So you do the 3 Ozone treatments, and then you do the Ibogaine, or you do the stem cells, and then you do the Ibogaine.
So it'd be good to do the Ozone first to get all the toxins out. Okay. And then it's good to do 3 Ozones, and then on the same day of the 3rd Ozone to dose the Ibogaine. Okay. Oh, dose the Ibogaine and then come back with the stem cells? Yes. Okay. So like you do the stem cells the next day or a week later? Probably a few days after. A few days after? Yeah, this is the first Ibogaine treatment. And this should help anybody with similar issues to what you have. So what's the term again where you can't, Anhedonia. Anhedonia, so this should help people with anhedonia and people with PSSD, right? Absolutely. But then it also can help people with schizophrenia. How does that work, do you know? Yeah, it's a miracle. Was it like, does it change dopamine levels and all? Have you looked at like chemistry, like in blood, like do dopamine levels go up? Do they come down? What happens with serotonin? Have you looked at any of those different adrenals? So with Ibogaine, it's one of the only psychedelics that increase the brain-derived neurotropic growth factor, which is what most psychedelics do. What separates it from all the other ones is it also increases the GDNF, which is like just strengthens your happy chemicals and just strengthens your brain essentially. And then can people, we talked about this in the past, but tell me about the Ibogaine experience. Like how much do you typically take? How long are you kind of on this hallucinogenic, trip? How does that work? So for me, it goes based on your body weight. So my sweet spot was about 200 to 250 milligrams, about a quarter of a flood dose. That's what they're normally giving, which we've realized is not always necessary to give that much. Okay. And actually, this protocol could be a lot safer and a lot more effective. Okay, so a flood dose would be like a full gram. A gram, pretty close for me. Yeah, okay. It goes based on the body weight. So you're doing like a quarter of a gram. And then that didn't make you like super out there. You were probably still aware of what was going on, or? It'd be a 4 to 6 hour trip. So 4 to 6 hours, were you like completely gone? Like you don't remember what your body was doing during that time, or were you somewhat conscious about what was going on? Somewhat conscious, more like a lucid dream. Okay. And then just like my truest self talking to myself. And then coming out of that 4 to 6 hours, I was the happiest I've ever felt in my life.
And you're normal.
And I'm back to actually probably better than before the trauma.
So somebody could do this in a day, essentially. They could come down to Playa, you could get them treated with the stem cells and the ozone probably in their hotel room, and then they could come see you, can treat them in your clinic, what you have, with just the Ibogaine, and then 4 to 6 hours they can drive home?
No, definitely. They would need to be, so 4 to 6 hours would be the trip, and then you would want to, probably the next day would be back to driving.
So not a good idea to drive that rest of that day?
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
What's going on? I mean, is it like you feel drunk, or what is it? What's? I understand 4 to 6 hours you're in that trip, but after that, what happens?
So you're sensitive to light. Yeah. And then you're it's more comfortable to lay down, or else you'll feel nauseous.
Okay.
And then you just let the medicine do what it needs to do, and then you're just going inside essentially, and things are surfacing during that time that you're dealing with, as opposed to suppressing.
That's interesting. I wonder if Christian makes house calls. I might have him come see me.
Sounds good. Absolutely.
So how do people get a hold of you?
I'm more active on Facebook. I have both, and I also have Instagram.
Okay. And so they just look for what, Dylan Vincent?
Dylan Vincent, yeah.
On Instagram or Facebook.
Yes.
And hopefully they put the right face to you, because there's probably more than one Dylan Vincents.
Absolutely.
I think there's like 100 Sean Gillespies, which I thought was like really odd. It's like, that seems like a very unique name to me, but not. So anyway, is there anything else that I haven't asked you that I should have asked you?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Dylan. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And good luck with you on your venture, man.
Thank you very much. Likewise.